caps for sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top a bunch of red caps. Yay! He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his cabs. As he went along, he called, "Cabs! Cabs for sale! 50 cents a cab!" One morning, he couldn't sell any cabs. He walked up the street, he walked down the street, calling, "Cabs! Cabs for sale! 50 cents a cab!" Yeah? You want to go home? We are home. But nobody wanted any cabs that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his cab. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against a tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Where are his caps? But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps are all there in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him. He looked to the left of him. He looked behind him. He looked behind the trees. No caps. Then he looked up into the tree. What do you think he saw? Yeah. On every branch sat a monkey. And on every monkey there was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. The peddler looked at the monkey. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you!" he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you! You give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, Do you think he's going to be angry still? My goodness. Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you! You better give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, Yeah. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you! You must
must give me back my caps.
But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled up his own cap, and all the gray caps, all the brown caps, all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked caps, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. Slowly, slowly he walked back to town calling,
Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!
The end.